Hello, welcome to this session. So we'll be talking about fonts. So in our HTML, we're having H1, H2, and the P tag. So I've already linked the style sheet we'll be using. So let me just go to the uh, style sheet and start styling. So let me start by selecting the P tag because that's what I want to use. So to apply font on in our this thing in our page, we can use we have the font style, the font variant, and all. So let's start going through them one by one. So there's something called font family. So in the font family, that's where you select the kind of font that you want. Let's say I want to use Times New Roman. As you can see, we have the Times New Roman. They put there is a comma, there is times, there is a comma, and then there is serif. So there's a convention in adding font in CSS, in the sense that you add a font, let's say Times New Roman, then you specify a backup font in case the browser doesn't have this Times New Roman font installed. You should use this one. Then this is the generic family of it, which is going to be the last. Let's assume I want to use a sans serif font like let me use let's say the Arial. So you can see that we have Arial, we have Helvetica, then the generic font, which is the sans serif. So this is the font family. Then there's another one called font variants. You can see in this our paragraph we have this L start with capital letter, then the rest are small letter, then this one start with capital letter. So if I'm using a font variant, if I write on font, if I write font variant and put something like small caps, if you notice the small letters are appearing as capital letter but they are looking smaller. So if you want your text to have this kind of look, you can use the font variants for that. So we also have the one that we call font weight. So font weight is, you can have different values for it from 100 to 900, or you can use bold, bolder, or lighter. So if I'm using like 600, you can see how it's looking. Then I can specify bold, then I can specify bolder. So you can just simply play around with the values to see the kind of value you're going to see how it's going to look. Then if I want it to be kind of lighter, I can use something like 100. You see how it's looking. Then I can increase the intensity by 200. Then let's say 300. Then you can as well do 400. You can see the more I increase the value, the more bold it gets. If I go to 500 for example, you see that it's going to look more bold. Then if I take it to like 900, you can see it's looking extremely bold. So that's for the font weight. Then we'll have another one which we call the font size. So I can decide to select font size of let's say 20 pixel. You can see the size have increased. By default, the font size is going to be 16px, which is 16 pixel. Then there are different units you can use. You see here I'm using the pixel. I can as well use the em. I can give it a 1.5 em. You can see how it's looking. Then I can also give it rem of 1.5. You know, sometimes people normally get confused between rem and em. So em means that it's going to, depending on the value I put, like I put 1.5, it's going to give it a 1.5 value of whatever is the font size of the parent. You can see in the HTML, the parent of this p is the body. So if I come to this body and give it a font size of let's say uh, 20 px, for example. You can see how it's looking. So the font size of this is going to be 1.5 of this 20 pixel. So if I do like sorry, this one is rem, I'm talking about the em. So in this font size of 1.5 em, so this 1.5 em is going to be 1.5 of this on 20 pixel. So if I increase this 20 to 40, you can see that the font of this is increasing. So it depends on whatever is the font size of the parent. Then there's one that is more consistent is with the rem. If I put this as rem, it's going to be the default it's going to be 1.5 of the root element that we have. So it doesn't change with the with respect of the parent. So if you want to have a consistent font, rem is more recommended than the em. But well, all depends on how you want to style your page. Then we also have another one which we call the line height. So let me clean this one as well. So line height is just talking about the height between each sentence. So if I give this thing a line height of let's say line height, I can give it a line height of something like 2. You can see the height as in the space is appearing here. I can give it a line height of something like 5. It's going to show as well. So that's for the line height. Just like we have the shorthand for the for background that we did earlier, there's also a shorthand for the font, so that we won't start writing font family, font weight and all that. So for that, we'll simply just write font. So the shorthand is just by writing font, then you start specifying the values. So the values are arranged in this order. The first one is the font style, which I chose italic, so I can make it to be normal. So if I make it to be normal, you see it's looking normal. So let me just revert to the way it was and show you the order that it follows. So the first one is the italic, then the second one is for the font variant, which I used on small caps. Then the third one is for the font weight. Then you specify the font size slash the font line height. So you specify the font size slash the line height. So I used the 1.5 em slash 2, which is 2 is for the line height and 1.2 em is for the font size. Then the last one is the font family. So this is the shorthand for fonts. See you in our next class. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit on the like so that whenever I drop a video you get a notification. See you.